Andrew Giles and the Prime Minister saying that they're going to do a new Directive number 99. Effectively, that was wrong. That was a mistake they made last year because they got to rewrite it. Well, can we trust them to write it properly this time? Are you comforted at all by this concession from the government?
Not at all. I think they're a pair of bozos. They really are, the way they've handled this. And when I said in the meeting at the end of last year with regards to Giles and handling the detainees, I was of the confidence that they could actually then, a reoffender who was released from the detention centre could be actually put back behind bars again in a detention centre, but that wasn't the case. So we were lied to. It was not my understanding. I can't believe what they've done. Now they blame the AAT. You're going to give them a direction, ministerial direction, which he's already got. It comes down to the minister how to deal with this. And of those 153 detainees that were released, Chris, my understanding is 76 have actually ankle bracelets on. Of the 28 that have reoffended, we don't know whether they had ankle bracelets on. That was my understanding. They would all be wearing ankle bracelets, but it wasn't the case. They've lied to us time and time again. And if you look at the record of both of these men, you know, they don't want to lock up detainees. They have no regard for the Australian people and their safety. They have no regard for the security of this nation because they put out a clear message to the people smugglers, put them on boats, or those people can come in by plane. We've got more coming in by plane who are going to claim asylum seeking in this country. We're in a hell of a mess.
We are in a hell of a mess, and it's incredible to watch the government, the minister in particular, blaming everybody else. Now, they blame the department. Well, 2 points on that is they got rid of the department head, Mike Pizzullo, who knew what he was doing, and they thought he was too political, so they had that inquiry and got rid of him. So they got their own person there heading it. Plus, they're supposed to run the department. They're supposed to demand the sort of performance that they should get. And secondly, they blame the AAT. Now, here, the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, again, they've shaken that organisation up dramatically. They've fobbed a lot of people off, put their own people on there. In fact, they're going to reconfigure it as a new organisation. So that's their people delivering those outcomes as well. And again, in that case, it's up to the minister to be vigilant about what's going on, what's being upheld, what's being overturned, and make sure he acts before it turns up in the newspapers on the TV news. That's the only time he acts, is when these horrible cases turn up in the media.
He's not even acting, and I know personally Mike Pizzullo, and he was a no-nonsense, spot-on guy, and this was the different politics of how Mike would handle it to what Giles or the Prime Minister would handle it. That's why he had to go. So they're both soft, they're bleeding bloody hearts and not good for the country. So people have to realise this. It's where your vote goes, who you're voting as the next government. If you return this pair, well, I tell you what, along with the rest of them, we're going to be worse off now in the future down the track unless we do something about it.
Well, he's got the minister now having to rewrite, effectively scrap his directive and come up with a new one. Surely that is enough in its own right, because this was his directive. Giles brought this directive in. Surely he has to go.
He has to go. Everyone keeps calling for it, but Albanese is protecting him. So it's his mate. He's protecting him because they think alike, Chris. If someone doesn't do the cut, it's with me, OK? So I had a couple of my members that didn't cut mustard with me and they didn't do the job. So I actually got rid of them. That's what it's about. Politics is about you've got to have people there who know how to solve a problem. They can't solve problems. And if you don't want to get rid of someone, that means you're on the same page. And that's what tells me. They both think alike. Albanese won't get rid of Giles because Giles is thinking exactly the same way as Albanese. Albanese is the most pathetic, gutless Prime Minister I have ever known. And I actually am so angry with him in the leadership role of this nation that I cringe when I see him. I cringe when I hear their policies. I cringe for the future of this nation.